This is TV18 and you're watching CNBC TV18.
Presented by Hindustan Unilever Limited.
Hello and welcome to Lessons in Marketing Excellence Season 4. I'm Sandeep Shrikant. On today's show, two teams from XLRI Jamshedpur battled it out for a spot in the semi-final round. XLRI, or Xavier's Labour Relations Institute, was set up in 1949 and is the oldest school of management in the country. Its speciality is in the area of human resource management, and its strengths are a strong alumni network and tie-ups with over 22 global B schools. This institute's performance on Lime has hardly been consistent over the years. It stood 8th in Season 1, moved up to 5th place in Season 2, and slipped down again to 9th place in Season 3. It'll be interesting to see if they do better than that this time around. The case for the teams from XLRI comes in from consumer electronics company Samsung India. It wants to grow its market share in the hyper-competitive smartphone category. Take a look. Smartphones have gradually changed the landscape of mobile technology, with the number of people adopting them growing exponentially over the past 2 years. Globally today, they contribute to 27% of handset sales, going as high as 63% in North America and 51% in the European Union. In India, however, the category is still nascent at 8%. Samsung India has made sustained efforts and investments to grow this category through initiatives like extensive consumer experience delivery, a specialized Samsung phone channel, as well as consistent advertising. What it wants now is to double the penetration and by doing so, grow its own market share.
So the question and the task at our hands is really, as a business, how do we really lead the massification and the mass adoption of smartphones in consumers' lives in India, and thereof take an inordinate share and a disproportionate share of the smartphone markets in favor of Samsung itself. Over the years, we have invested significantly in not just evangelizing the market through our advertising campaigns, but even carrying realistic experience and in-market, in-consumer hand experiences out there. We've invested in a large footprint in branded retail for smartphones, so we have done a fair bit of market building. Now the task is really to double or triple the sheer market of smartphones in the country.
So the teams from XLRI Jamshedpur need to provide the Samsung India team with strategies and initiatives to trigger the adoption of more smartphones in India. They need to help increase the penetration of smartphones from 8% to 16% and grow Samsung India's market share in the category from 50% to 70% over the next year. A very topical challenge from Samsung there. The two teams will present their solutions to this case, call themselves 99.99 percentile and eliminators. Let's meet them now. Team 99.99 percentile visited a Samsung retail outlet as part of their primary research. Nikhil, who comes from an R&D background, has a strong understanding of what consumers want. Gitanjali is an electronics engineer with 3 years experience in the telecom sector that came in handy while working on this case.
Let's try face detection or smile shot. Make a sad face. Now smile. Yeah.
Okay. And Debroop, who worked in the area of supply chain, now specializes in operations and marketing. They set out to find out how consumers behave and understand the roadblocks to conversion from general phones to smartphones.
Well, this visit to this Samsung store has been very enriching. We interacted with the people who are day in and day out interacting with the customers. So this gives a lot of customer insight. We also tried out the gadgets with our own hand, and we saw the applications. We saw how S3 product has been so successful in the market. Similarly, the extension of S2 platform, and then we tried out some tablets of our own.
2 members from Team Eliminators are fresh out of college. Priyanka has a degree in business administration and Akash is an electronics engineer. Saurabh, an engineer from IIT Kharagpur, spent 2 years at Indian Oil before coming to XLRI. This team conducted in-depth interviews and group discussions to understand the mobile handset market. They also spent time using and experiencing the Samsung Galaxy S3 to get some insights into the potential smartphone user.
Okay, our primary research involved talking to a lot of people. So we realized there are 2 kinds of people. There are apps that people love about the Samsung smartphones. There are apps that people have no idea about. It is basically we have to bridge the gap between these 2 people and let them know about excellent apps that are available on every Samsung smartphone as well.
Well, both teams seem to be getting to grips with the case there. How will they fare during their presentations? We'll find out after this break.
Which are the strengths of Samsung that you are playing to?
The only thing is the product is not new, only the positioning has to be new.
We think that the life cycle cost of using a phone is a deterrent.
Have you sussed out the competition?
Is this one of the biggest priority that you have?
I will steal your sleep. I will make you weep. I will eat your time. I will make you mine. I am the birthday forgotten, the weekend cut short. I will tease you away from the friends that you've got. I will push your limits, never let you submit. I will make you charge on in the face of defeat. I am obsessive, compulsive, addictive, seductive. I will own you and tear you and squeeze you and wear you. I am your dream. I bring you joy and glory, and I revolutionize. I am your dream, and I ask you to rise. CNBC TV 18. Hello, dreamers.
चल नई वैगनर
सर आराम से वो इंटीरियर्स क्लासी है ना
क्लासी तो हम भी हैं
चिल सर हैव अ ड्रिंक अरे हाँ यूएसबी भी है गाना सुनिए ओह या सर वन मोर थिंग सामने से भी नहीं है जरा लुक मारिए ना ओह वेरी यार बाहर से
नाइस
और इम्प्रूव्ड माइलेज भी है बॉयज
ये तो बन गया कूल
और हम फूल
न्यू वैगनर फॉर द स्मार्टर यू
Everything in life has a right number, including your life insurance cover. To know your right insurance cover, SMS KNOW to 56070. Bajaj Allianz Knowledge Capsules. Bajaj Allianz. Jio Befikar.
From new launches to hot deals, national price checks and trends, we bring you all the news in realty for the biggest voices in the business. On CNBC TV 18's brand new show, Prime Property, your real estate ready reckoner at these times on CNBC TV 18.
Got a question? Write the keywords. Done. Want to send an email? Write the name. Done. Message sent. Location searched. Galaxy Note 2 quick command.
Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Incredibly creative.
Welcome back. We have two teams from XLRI Jamshedpur battling it out for a place in the semi-finals of Lime Season 4. They're presenting solutions to a case on the smartphone market from Samsung India. On the jury today, Siddharth Banerjee from Hindustan Unilever, Anuradha Sengupta from CNBC TV 18, and joining us from Delhi is Manu Sharma, General Manager, Samsung India. The first team to present is team 99.99 percentile. Guys, you'll have 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
With a massive market share of 50% in smartphone category, Samsung today is standing at a juncture where it faces the challenge of a market leader. This strategic challenge is not about just retaining and expanding its market share, but expanding the entire category. In our primary research, we conducted a series of in-depth interviews of individuals across various segments, including Sec A1, A2, A3, comprising of existing Samsung smartphone users, non-Samsung smartphone users, and generic phone users. Based on our hypothesis testing through sample surveys, we identified 3 major customer perceptions that are deterrent for the penetration of smartphones. These are 68% of the people have a fear of dropping and damaging the phone. 48% prefer PC for similar usage, and 38% feel that smartphone is too complicated to use. So what are our solutions for Samsung? 1. We propose a launch of 40 series phones. Scratch-proof screen, metallic finished body with focused positioning as tough smartphone, targeted towards the entry-level users and end-of-life-cycle phone users at 2 price point, Rs 5,500 and Rs 10,000. To create buzz, we put 6x3 scratch-free glass standees at outlets, experience zones to build consumer awareness. We call this Scratch To Ab History Hai campaign. Our proposed storyboard for ATL communication.
An accidental slip of my phone is no longer a concern. My kid scratching my smartphone screen with a key is no longer a concern. I enjoy a tension-free life.
Second, to target the consumers who perceive using smartphone is complicated, we propose to develop a structured communication plan that benefits all Samsung phones over the categories. Point A, in ATL, where we categorically focus on TVCs with tagline, being smart is simple, creating a perception that using Samsung smartphone is simple enough. Point B, creating app zones in shopping malls, airports, metro station for first-hand experience on the theme of being smart is simple.
Our next proposal is a campaign called Unravel a New World. Our research shows that in India, 3G phones are synonymous with smartphones in consumer perception. Hence, we propose a strategic collaboration with service providers to run a campaign to increase the usage of smartphones as a category. Our fourth proposal is smart packages using content partnership to enhance the usage of 3G. Secondary research suggests that internet usage on mobile is majorly limited to social networks and emails. So how does a smart package help our smartphone consumer? Owing to the concept of broadband television, we propose the customer will pay for 3G as per his choice of usage. Say a 3G for Facebook, Gmail and YouTube and 2G for the rest. This will invoke the need of 3G and hence the smartphone penetration. Finally, to expand the overall market share, we also propose Samsung's entry into the enterprise solution market by targeting small and medium enterprise for selling enterprise servers, business intelligence applications and alliance programs. Thank you.
That was a great presentation, guys. Manu, I want you to start off with the questioning.
Well, you mentioned 2 or 3 priorities, and one of the priorities you mentioned as a need gap, that people can easily break smartphones by dropping them, or they can scratch them, and that's one of the barriers of growth of smartphone. Do you think that's really the key barrier, or is there something else to it? Can you please elaborate?
Well, our hypothesis that we created was through 18 in-depth interviews we conducted in the primary research level, based on which we find out a series of points which we thought that these are the major deterrent for smartphone penetration in India. Now, we took this hypothesis into sample surveys, which gave us these 3 top reasons. One being the fact that people have this perception. It may not be the truth, but it's a perception of the customer that if I switched from a generic phone to a smartphone, I'll not be able to handle it. I might drop it and break it, so it's a wastage of my one. But it's also true that the second and third point are are equally important. The fact that people also perceive that using a smartphone is complicated enough. So that is also a major deterrent for people to switch from feature phone to smartphones.
Okay, Siddharth, you want to?
Yeah, sure. I would really like to know from the team that considering that the mobile phone market, especially the smartphone market in India, is highly competitive with a pace of innovation which is extremely rapid, which are the strengths of Samsung that you are playing to in the proposals that you have submitted?
There are a number of capabilities which are strength for Samsung. One, when we conducted a brand recall, a brand health monitoring survey within the base of in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, that is Jamshedpur, Lucknow and Kolkata, we found that when we ask people that which is the best smartphone you know, the people talk about Samsung. What's the next smartphone you're going to buy? People talk about Samsung. So the brand strength is one of the critical strength which we believe in. This is number one. And second point is that they already have distribution channel which is well established in all over India. So when you innovate a new product, launch a new product, you need not to invest time to send this product from one corner of the country to the other corner. So in 1 week time, you can actually bring up this new product to the entire country.
And if I can add, Samsung already has the Gorilla screens as a product. So why not publicize it when the consumers want rigidity, when the consumers want reliability? The only thing is the product is not new, only the positioning has to be new.
You know, I want to pick up from a point Siddharth had in his question, and that is it is a hyper-competitive market. And you've talked about launching a new Samsung model called Fortis. And I think that's interesting, but have you sussed out the competition? And don't you think price is a big barrier when it comes to Samsung and its goals? Shouldn't price be something that you focus on the campaign, because you have talked about launching a smartphone from Samsung at the entry level?
Okay, first our question that we answered through a secondary research, because a research on pricing we could not take up, so we took a survey which has been conducted already. So we find that 2 classical price points, which is $100 and $200. Now, the reason why we keep 2 price points is that already Samsung has a range of products of smartphones from 7,000 rupees to 35,000 rupees. So we introduced this particular phone for the entry-level users who, say for the college-going kid who is taking a smartphone for the first time. And second, people who have been using the generic phones and they want to switch to a smartphone. Probably they will not switch to a 5,000 rupees smartphone. For them, it is 10,000 rupees smartphone. In order to estimate the market size, we have taken into consideration this $100 and $200 price point actually cater to around 64% of the market. So we take care of the market, and from that angle we justify the price points. And second thing is that whether price is a deterrent. Price is definitely a deterrent, but we think that life cycle cost of using a phone is a deterrent. So for example, you in US, if you see, you buy an Apple phone at a cost of around $200, $300, and you pay $80 per month to connect to 3G, 4G network. So that is the cumulative cost a person incurs over the time. So it is not the entry level. You are deterred by the cost of the smartphone. You are deterred by the thought that every month I'll incur a huge cost because of the usage of smartphone. Instead of I use a generic phone, I'll incur less cost every month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, team 99.99 percentile. We're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we'll have the presentation from the second team, Team Eliminators.
What is the biggest barrier to people buying smartphones?
When you talk about a smartphone, it comes to our mind it's expensive.
So what leads you to believe that Samsung can do that strategy the best?
I will steal your sleep. I will make you weep. I will eat your time. I will make you mine. I am the birthday forgotten, the weekend cut short. I will tease you away from the friends that you've got. I will push your limits, never let you submit. I will make you charge on in the face of defeat. I am obsessive, compulsive, addictive, seductive. I will own you and tear you and squeeze you and wear you. I am your dream. I bring you joy and glory, and I revolutionize. I am your dream, and I ask you to rise. CNBC TV 18. Hello, dreamers.
Life's ups and downs, we help you bounce back. Max for life. High stakes, high speed, high fashion. Another day in the spotlight.
Looks like you had an interesting week.
I do what I can.
Signature Premier Indian Derby, the sign of success. Brought to you by Signature Premier Natural Mineral Water.
It was really a very proud moment for us last year to have won this coveted award. Financial Advisors Award are the best in the independent recognition, gives a lot of credential to us for acquiring new relationships. So this award definitely means a lot to us.
UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18 present the Financial Advisor Awards 2012-2013. Nominate yourself today.
Presenting sponsor UTI Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully. Associate sponsor Allahabad Bank. Har kadam aapke saath. Powered by ICRA.
Let's leave the world behind.
The new Toyota Fortuner, now in 5-speed automatic transmission.
Welcome back to Lessons in Marketing Excellence Season 4. The next team from XLRI Jamshedpur to present its solutions to the Samsung India Challenge is Team Eliminators. Guys, you'll have 3 minutes and your time starts now.
Good evening. Segmentation strategy. We segmented a potential smartphone using population using 2 parameters: technological adoption of laptops and handheld devices and their occupations. We've identified 2 segments which we plan to target to increase penetration: aspirers and achievers. Aspirers, they want a laptop or smartphone access but cannot afford it since it's expensive or find it difficult to use. Achievers can afford to buy a laptop or a smartphone but they don't feel the need of it or find it difficult to use. The research methodology. depth interviews and online consumer surveys, which focus on factors like decision-making process of the consumers and factors like social influence, convenience, and social need. Our broad positioning strategy. Your smartphones are a replacement for a laptop. In all our ads, in all our promotional campaigns, we put forward this proposition. A communication for the aspirers will be, why do you need a laptop? Our smartphones will provide you with all the basic laptop requirements on this small and easy to use affordable gadget. For the achievers, if you feel a laptop is difficult to carry or too bulky to operate, we have a one-stop solution for all your problems, Samsung smartphones. To communicate this positioning, we suggest replacing an iconic computer in the mind of the Indian consumers with a smartphone. Example, replacing a famous computer gene KBC with a smartphone.
To reduce perceived difficulty in use of smartphones, we suggest a 5-step strategy. We want to show relative advantage by talking about useful apps in ATL communication, compatibility by talking about an easy installation process for apps, lesser complexity through ads showing ease of use even for a kid. We also want to increase observability through use by celebs as a fashion symbol and increase trialability by making people use apps and internet on smartphone installed in popular touchpoints like cafes and malls. We now look at segment-specific strategies regarding essential smartphone features. Aspirers, we want more choice of models in the 4 to 6K category. EMI installation schemes. Communicate price points effectively in ads to remove pricey perception for low-end phones. Also introduce more India-specific applications like maps, local news feeds, and astrology. For achievers, we want to provide them with one-and-all portable device, a personal aid to help in everything from, say, inventory management to planning out weekend according to his entertainment preferences.
We see that women in this segment is untapped and needs to be focused upon. For them, make it a fashion accessory. Provide a front camera which can be used as a mirror and make the phones curved and in different colors. Give them instant messaging, social media, online apps like calorie counter or shopping list. Other penetration strategies could be tie up with corporates like XLRI to tap their market where smartphones are used by the salesperson on sales beat. Multiplayer gaming phones with features like immediate sharing of apps and games. A few plans to increase our smartphone interaction for RTG could be online FB contests like Smartphone Pick of the Day, product placement in popular TV shows like Roadies, and for women in most popular TV shows. Finally, from a futuristic perspective, we suggest the use of smartphone as a QR code reader which can be used for a number of apps like buying goods, downloading maps, etc. Thus, we see that there is a lot of area which, if catered specifically, can drive smartphone penetration in the country. Thank you.
All right, let's toss it to Manu for the first question.
Well, as you know, Samsung is also into the IT business, and we also sell laptops. So how do we address this dichotomy where you saying and proposing that laptop to be replaced by smartphones?
What we suggest is, exactly, we're not saying that, okay, completely replace every laptop with a smartphone. For us, it's like an intermediate step. If you cannot afford to buy a laptop for the time being, we're saying, okay, replace that particular laptop need as of now with a smartphone, and in the future, probably you can jump to a laptop.
What is the biggest barrier to people buying smartphones?
There were two problems. One was for the achiever segment that we described. It was some of them felt that smartphone is not required. They already have a laptop, and most of the things that a smartphone does can be done by a digicam, can be done by a laptop separately. And probably they find it difficult. There is a certain amount of difficulty in use of a smartphone. There is a perception regarding that. And for the aspirer segment, the problem is they have a pricey perception attached with smartphones. So it's a two-pronged difficulty, and we have suggested our strategies around overcoming these difficulties separately.
A lot of people don't know that there are smartphones existing in the lower category as well. When you talk about a smartphone, it comes to our mind it's expensive. So we just did a basic thing, something called purchase intention and price purchase intention for a smartphone. We told them, okay, if you want to buy a smartphone, will you purchase it or not on the 5-point scale? So when we told them, okay, this is the price, okay, and there are smartphones available in this segment as well, the price purchase intention score improved significantly over the purchase intention score.
So does Samsung not communicate effectively enough that it has smartphones in the lower price band?
We've seen the ads Samsung doesn't give the price effectively. Okay, you don't talk about the price. For example, you talk about the other ads as well. You talk about the Nokia Asha competitors. They have smartphones in the lower category, but they don't talk about it being at a lower price. Nowhere in the ad is it specified. So that is only to say, communicate the price effectively, because if you're selling a phone which is in the lower category and you want people to perceive that, okay, that smartphones are not that expensive. You have smartphones in the 4 to 5K or 6K category as well. You have to communicate that through an ad or possibly through a billboard or something, some other phenomenon or some other media.
Okay. So I like the way that you attempted segmentation of your target market, and then you tried to build a positioning platform for the target market. However, as it often happens, you will have limited resources and you will have to show results in 12 months. So if you had to choose one of those segments, which basically allows you the majority of the job of doubling your category penetration and going from 50 to 70 in market share, which would be that big bet?
So our strategy would be focused on two segments. One is aspirers and women. Why we are saying that? Because our research has shown that the penetration of smartphones in the Seg B and the Seg C category according to SEC classification is the lowest. And also the penetration of smartphones in India is almost 2.5 times lesser than penetration of smartphones amongst males in India. So there is a distinct opportunity of more penetration for the female segment, and hence we feel that smartphones specifically designed to cater to the needs of females would be successful.
Sure.
Thank you. Well done, Eliminators. That was great. And we're going to give our judges a few minutes to decide which team wins and gets to represent XLRI at the semi-finals.
Both teams are happy with the solutions they brought to the table. They now analyze their Q&A.
One question we handled really well, and the other question on insights, whether these are the only deterrents, was a bit tricky. So we could have done a bit better on that.
I think we did pretty well in the sense that judges particularly liked our segmentation strategy and our broad positioning strategy. So we are keeping our hopes up.
Team Eliminator thinks they've won the jury over, but have they?
So I have the results with me, and the team that will represent XLRI in the semi-finals of Lime Season 4, the team that will battle it out for a chance to play in the grand finale is Team Eliminators. Right. Let me quickly ask Manu why the jury picked this team.
Well, it narrows down to 3 points why I chose Team B for this contest. One, the clarity of thought. Second was the approach and feasibility of implementing solution which the Team B provided. And third thing was which I found the insights which were brought by the Team B were very, very useful and can be helped in our case.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Anuradha and Siddharth. Congratulations once again, Team Eliminators. And with that, we come to the end of the campus round of Lime Season 4. Next week, in a special show, we'll meet the 3 teams who will enter this competition in the semi-final stage as wildcard entries. These are the teams who will give the top 12 B schools a run for their money. Don't forget to tune in, same time next week.
I think our segmentation strategy was quite crisp and specific, and that's what I think connected with the judges. The feeling is just awesome. When you put in so much effort, it really feels great when it's appreciated at the end.
Presented by Hindustan Unilever Limited.
I will steal your sleep. I will make you weep. I will eat your time, I will make you mine. I am the birthday forgotten, the weekend cut short. I will tease you away from the